You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, Black and White Sports fans, yesterday, Simone Biles came out with a PR apology that was still woke, by the way, and she got completely destroyed. Simone Biles went on the attack to Riley Gaines about her stance on transgenders, aka males and female sports. Because in Minnesota, in high school softball for girls, a male pitcher identifying as a female dominated all 5 games, and that softball team won the state title in Minnesota. And Riley Gaines knows firsthand what it's actually like to compete against a male and female sports. And she has been on a crusade to end the trans invasion of female sports. And then Simone Biles gets out there pretty woke and attacks Riley Gaines, and she gets destroyed by everyone on the right and even the left. This is not a winning situation whatsoever. We saw, man, that the left has definitely lost its culture war when it comes to the trans invasion in female spaces. Not even just sports, but in this case right here, we're talking about sports. And then Simone Biles, she fell on the sword, issued a weak apology for attacking Riley Gaines, and it backfired. Now, Stephen A. Smith, as you guys know, has his own podcast. And guess what? Riley Gaines showed up on the Stephen A. Smith show. I didn't know this. Now, initially, man, Stephen A. Smith was on board with Riley Gaines' take on the trans invasion in female sports. He says that males shouldn't be in female sports. However, he took issue with Riley Gaines bringing up Larry Nassar. That's where he disagreed with Riley Gaines. But guess what? Riley Gaines checked Stephen A. Smith. And guess what? He backtracked on his stance. Let's go ahead, guys, and get into this clip here. Here we go. So right over here, guys, this is the clip from the Stephen A. Smith show right here. And Riley Gaines is on the show. Let's go ahead and roll it.
I side with you 1,000%. I have no problem with your position whatsoever, and I'm not scared to say it, and I've never been scared to say it. I think that's absolutely the right thing to do. Women should be competing against women. Men should be competing against men, and transgenders should be competing against transgenders. I have no problem with it whatsoever. I don't know why that's controversial, but when you think about what you've been exposed to and what you've had to deal with, it brings us to Simone Biles, which is why this is a subject that we had to tackle, because your stance and your position recently when you spoke about the person from Minnesota, that prompted Simone Biles to post this about you. Quote, this is her quote about you. You're truly sick. All of this campaigning because you lost a race. Straight up sore loser. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or creating a new avenue where trans people feel safe in sports. Instead, you bully them. One thing's for sure is no one in sports is safe with you around. End quote. What was your immediate reaction when you saw what Simone Biles had to say about you, the great Olympian that she is, because nobody could question her credentials? And now that you've had an opportunity to reflect even further on what she has said, what is your reaction now?
When I first got this notification on my phone, of course, as you just said, Simone, her illustrious career, what she's done for the sport of gymnastics, what she's done for women's sports in general, much broader than gymnastics. I have looked up to her and admired her. I mean, I watched her compete in 2016, 2020, 2024, the past 8-ish, I guess 9 years at this point. I've admired Simone Biles. So when I got this notification on my phone that I had been tagged in something on X from Simone, I was like overwhelmed with excitement and starstruck, and I click on it and I read.
Yeah, she was not expecting Simone Biles to actually go on the attack. I guess she was expecting that Simone Biles was going to agree with her. And that wasn't the case.
What you just said out loud. And I read it again and again, and I clicked the profile, and then I went back and I clicked the profile again to make sure it was really Simone Biles. This wasn't a fake account, and it really was Simone Biles. And I was heartbroken. And I'll tell you what, I wasn't heartbroken because of the personal attacks, because of her calling me a bully or saying that I'm disgusting or truly sick or whatever she said. It wasn't that hurt my feelings, because I'm a very secure person. I'm secure with myself. I'm secure with the side of history that I'm on, very happily married for 3+ years. Like, none of those personal attacks bothered me. But what did bother me is knowing the platform that she has and how she was so quick in such a venomous way to sell out young girls like my little sister. My little sister's 16 years old. She's an elite level gymnast. I come from a family of athletes. Like, my dad played professional ball, SEC Hall of Famer. My brother played football in college. I, of course, went to University of Kentucky. My mom was a Division I softball player. My oldest sister went to Ole Miss. She played softball. My youngest sister's the best athlete out of all of us. She will go on to do incredible things, whatever she does in college and beyond. That's why my heart broke in that moment. I'm sure you'll continue to read the next tweet that Simone put out, which we can discuss. But in that moment, I was so just disappointed and disheartened to know a woman who has done so much for the sport was so quick to pull up the ladder behind her, is how I would describe it.
In your response to Biles, you brought up Larry Nassar, and that's the only thing that you said where I took issue. I took umbrage with what you said, because you brought him up. This is the former national team doctor who sexually abused multiple U.S. gymnasts, including Biles, under the guise of quote-unquote medical treatment. You wrote, quote, all the horrific sexual abuse Simone Biles witnessed and spoke out against caused by one man, yet believes women should be forced to strip naked in front of men to validate the man's feelings. You know how many gold medals you'd have if your inclusive dream came true? 0. That was the only thing that I criticized you for, because I thought that was really, really below the belt, considering how heinous of an individual, how despicable Larry Nassar was, and what Simone Biles was subjected to because of that man. Any regrets at all about saying that, bringing up Larry Nassar is what I'm asking?
I stand by what I said 100%. But let me provide a little context.
Okay.
First of all, for clarity, I believe Larry Nassar is a monster and who should spend every single waking second for the rest of his life miserable and rotting away in prison. There's no, me and Simone certainly agree there. Context here for the situation, again, that my own personal experience that I can speak to. I don't know if you've ever been inside of a locker room, specifically a locker room on a pool deck. Right. It's an open space. It's basically like a large square. Okay. There is no stalls beyond the stalls that you use the restroom in, but you're not putting your suit on or, of course, showering in those stalls.
Okay.
Does it get more perverted than being in a shower, which is typical for a swimming locker room, especially you're in the chlorine, you get out, you're in the pool 5 times a day, you rinse off. Does it get more perverted than standing in the shower, totally undressed, when a 6'4" man approaches you, stands in the shower head next to you, undresses himself, fully naked, fully intact, and watches you shower? That's the context I was drawing. And to me, that is sexual abuse. What me and my teammates had to go through was certainly sexual abuse.
No doubt about it. Definitely sexual abuse. And the NCAA should be ashamed of themselves.
Again, for clarity, I think what Simone, her teammates went through is condemnable and punishable beyond what we face. Again, there's no doubt in my mind there. But to try to normalize this, or in Simone's case, attempt to silence those who speak out about this, that's the conclusion I was drawing here. No girl should have to go through this, whether it is rape, whether it's unwanted touching, whether it's voyeurism, whether it's indecent exposure. And no woman should ever, ever be shamed for pointing out when men are abusing women. I found a video of Simone testifying before Congress, this same seat I have found myself in. I've testified before Congress and the Senate many, many times, and I listened to the part of her testimony. I posted a video of it, a little clip of it, where she's, of course, speaking to the abuse, speaking to how horrific, speaking to how no woman should have to go through this again. And our messages sounded the exact same when I sat in that seat. She got emotional in her testimony. I got emotional in my testimony describing this. That's the conclusion I was drawing here. Again, it is easy to condemn Larry Nassar, but I believe it should be just as easy to condemn those who attempt to normalize or think it's not on a scale of gross sexual offense against women and girls to have men undressing and showering next to women.
Riley, I can push back, but I won't even try. And the reason why.
Yeah. Look right there. He says he won't even try. You know what, guys? Stephen A, man, every time he has a conservative on his show, guess what? He's stunned, he goes silent, and he backtracks. It happened when he had Officer Tatum on. It happened when he had Candace Owens on, Megyn Kelly on, and now Riley Gaines. Stephen A always gets checked.
Why I won't even try is because you make a very, very valid point. First of all, your personal experiences. Secondly, you're a lady. I am not. And so when you talk about what's offensive to you, one of the things that I have a problem with, particularly with people on Capitol Hill, is when men are trying to tell women how they should feel about their experiences as if they know. It's one thing for you to have an opinion, but it's another thing for you to come across as if you know something it's impossible for you to know. I can never know what Riley Gaines just alluded to other than how you explained it. So I really appreciate that point, and I thank you for it. I got to ask you this question. Is there a resolution when we think about the whole trans issue in sports?
Yeah, there's a resolution. Before Riley answers, I'm going to tell it the way it should be. No males and female sports. Just that simple. It's just that simple. If you are a biological male, you're not in female sports. That's the resolution, man.
I don't have any problems with anybody from the LGBTQ plus community. Live your life. Do what you do. I'm not trying to be invasive in that regard. But when we talk about transgender issues in the world of sports, it seems to me from a societal perspective, we're being a bit hypocritical because we go out of our way to talk about the protection that women need in terms of Title IX, fair and equitable treatment under the laws of our land. But somehow, some way, something like this comes up and we forget those very things, which somebody like you essentially was reminding us we have forgotten about that, but you did it. So that's a testament to you. But when we talk about an equitable solution to the issue of trans athletes, is there a solution that you think exists out there? Because it doesn't seem like there is one.
It's a good point you bring up. And it's something Simone mentioned in her initial tweet, right? Creating a third category almost. I'll tell you, I initially supported this idea. I believe this was a way to prioritize inclusion, but not at the expense of safety, number one, and fairness, number two. But I'll tell you when I changed my mind. This was done. FINA, the international governing body of swimming, created a third category at the international level, like a very high level of competition for people like Leah Thomas or those who are identified as trans, gender nonconforming, non-binary, whatever it is, a separate category for that. No one competed in it. Actually, Thomas went on to sue World Aquatics for this new rule, ultimately making the point that he doesn't want to compete if he can't trample on women in the process here. Yeah,
Riley Gaines is right. I talked about that. I did a video on that. It was tried. And they didn't want to participate in the third category. They wanted to beat up on the women. But here we are, man. Stephen A. Smith gets checked. And he has nothing to say. This happens quite often, folks, when Stephen A. has a conservative on his show. Yeah, because he was critical of her bringing up the Larry Nassar thing. But Riley Gaines was right. And she says she has no regrets on doing that. And now Stephen A. Smith has nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we will catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.